I love to be hunted.
Okay. Well, let me just understand this one. You want a guy who has a purpose and will chase you.
Thank you.
Okay.
In the COVID, the biggest thing that came was the Nyash. In today's world, it's even difficult to find the right person, even in church.
The men should chase
The men should chase the women. Every woman wants a tall, 6-pack or 8-pack fit. I need a man who has a plan in life. I don't want to befriend anybody who is sitting beside a video game and does not have any vision. Believe it or not, we are supposed to help you guys meet a need. So I'm a help meet. Okay. I like my men in a particular way, dressed in a particular way. For me, for 29 years, I'm the one that shopped for my husband. Yeah, because this is how I want my husband to look. If you give a woman a sperm, he will give you a baby. If you give a woman trouble, he will give you a holler. Because if you love me as Christ loved the church, submission will come automatically. For instance, I'm sitting here, if my husband takes me to on a vacation, nice vacation, I'm enjoying myself, still submission.
Your ideal vacation
It's
Barbados.
No. My ideal vacation is not Maldives or maybe Dubai or something. I don't believe in courting for 7 years. That's the whole degree.
Okay.
It's not medical school you are going. Your choice is going to determine who you are tomorrow. You can be the president of America, but if you don't choose a right spouse, your presidency will be in shambles.
Yeah.
Why marriages in America don't work is most of our African men don't want to.
Have you gone through any heartbreaks before?
As a young gentleman or lady, you have gone through a heartbreak.
How
So,
was it?
yes, I have. It was bad. Yes.
So was that your case where you were unable to eat? I hear those stories.
Yes, I agree. The first one, yes. Like my mom had to come to my room and be like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you in your room the whole day?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm alright." But then at night, I had to go through a little bit of crying.
How long did it take for you to?
I think it was like 7 months. Oh no, for me to recover, maybe like 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yes, because I started talking to other girls.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes someone will have money,
Yeah.
but the lady wouldn't be into the person, but into the money.
Yeah.
So she likes you, but she wants to get that money.
Oh.
So she might cheat on you, you find out, and that's a breakup.
Yeah.
For someone like me, once you cheat and I find out, unless I don't find out, if I find out, I'm done. So,
But what about if you cheat? You want her to leave you?
truthfully, I hardly cheat, but if I cheat and she finds out, she should leave.
Okay.
If you like someone,
Yeah.
it should be a good enough reason for you to go and cheat on them.
Okay. Should women approach men if they like them?
Yes.
But that's uncommon.
In the US, it's a little bit common.
Okay.
From where we are from,
Okay.
it's hard to find that.
Okay.
But still, some people do experience it. I was trying to pair my uncle with a lady I knew. My uncle was 42 years.
Whoa.
He was shy. 42 years, has a business, has money. He was shy.
Have you been manipulated before?
Oh yes, everyone has been manipulated before.
Okay.
But there's a difference between being manipulated and sacrificing.
Yeah.
Some women are very good at manipulation.
Why marriages in America don't work is most of our African men don't want to change.
Friends and viewers, welcome to today's episode. And in today's episode, let me tell you, I have Dr. Mrs. Rosemary Andoh, Baidoo, who has been married for more than decades. And with me today, we will discuss a very beautiful content that you are not going to get anywhere. So stick with me. And so I'm going to allow Dr. Mrs. Rosemary Andoh, Baidoo to tell us a little bit of yourself. Mommy, can you tell us something bit of yourself?
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be here. Like you said, my name is Rosemary Andoh Baidoo. I've been married for, come this May 4th, will be 29 years.
Wow.
And God has blessed us with 4 children.
Nice.
And at this time, we are almost empty nesters.
Yes.
So we've been blessed one way or the other. So I hope our talk today will be fruitful and
Yes.
beneficial to all our viewers.
I'm so convinced that it's going to be a very fruitful one.
Yes.
Yes. And so talking about 29 years of marriage,
Mm-hmm.
tell me about it. I mean, what are some of the ups and downs? Do you think it was worthwhile?
Yes, it's been a lot. Every decade has its own package, and we have gone through life struggles. It looks like we've been through almost everything,
Okay.
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
We've gone through it, and by God's grace, we're still standing.
Okay.
So that is what really matters. And love prevails.
Okay.
At the end of every relationship, it's love that prevails. And it's not just the love that we talk about, I love you. No, it passes that stage. You come to the point where this love is like Christ loving the church, is sacrificial. You go above and beyond.
Yeah.
You seek the good for your spouse.
Okay.
And that is what it is. I mean, it's you have to be intentional. It's a lot of work, but you have to be determined that I'm going to work this thing out.
Okay.
And I mean, God being our help, we've come this far.
I mean, 29 years.
29 years.
Do you think love is fleeting? Love is changing? Does it feel like you married past 29 years ago?
Yes, you see, beginning, the love is a different way. I love you, I love you, I love you. But then it transitions to a different level. It transitions to a place where it's not just the love, but it's about I seek your good, you seek my good. I mean, I check your back. You know that I'm there for you. It's like
Scratch my back, I
scratch your back. There you go. You see that this person is not just. It transitions more than just the I love you, basic I love you things that we do when we were in our 20s. Yeah, so it is more than just that. And with God in each struggle you are able to go through, you become stronger. And there are things that bothers you when you were 20 will not bother you when you get to 40.
Which one of them is that?
You see, for me, my personal experience, I was very OCD
Okay.
when I got married. So when you marry somebody from a different background, and you are also coming from a different background, and you are coming to meet, it's a different thing. So the two of you meeting is going to be a clash of the titans.
Okay.
So as you clash, you have to know how to manage your wars and your struggles.
Yeah.
Management of your struggles is one big thing, is one thing that would keep you going. Because if you always want to be the one, as for me, I'm like this.
Yeah.
As for me, I'm like that.
It has to always be my way.
You won't go far.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to always be your way.
Okay.
There are days that you just have to overlook. There are things that bothers you when you were single that when you marry, at times you have to overlook. You have to pretend you didn't see, so you can get the relationship going.
Wow. What are some of the specific things that you did that kept the relationship to 29 years?
Mm, okay. Some of the relationship patience.
Did you really work on it?
Yes,
Okay.
it's intentional work.
Okay.
It's something that you intentionally decide that as for this one, I won't let myself come in.
Okay.
I'll just let it be.
I will think about the bigger goal.
I will think about the bigger goal. Sometimes some people feel that as long you see there are things you can think about. There are things that if you tell anybody, they will tell you it's not worth wasting the time and everything. But if your husband is not doing so many things that will bother you, I mean, for instance, if my husband is not going out doing all sorts of promiscuous things, if my husband is not,
It's still keeping the love.
fighting me, beating me up, doing all sorts of things that you would not it's not like a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
But there are basic things like you have conflicts here and there that can be solved. We quarrel, we don't talk to each other, we've gone through all the gimmicks. So there comes a time you don't want to even see the person. Yes, God, why did I marry this one? Why? What happened to me? Where did and then the next minute you are like, oh, hey, is that you? So it moves in stages. So, but if you don't want to go through a stage, then it becomes difficult.
Yeah.
You
And
see.
I like the fact that you mentioned you brought in you brought in husband. Okay.
Mhm,
So I'm going to ask you. I
mhm,
did 29 years.
mhm,
Most of us, I would say, at least with my crew,
mhm.
most of us were not born.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Mhm.
so 29 years of marriage, what would you say? How do we, as youth or people coming up, how do we identify those or someone as a good fit partner for me? Do you think what should be the criteria?
You see, for the women, I think the guys are not a big problem like the ladies. The ladies have a list.
Okay.
So every woman wants a tall 6 pack or 8 pack.
I don't think I'll
Somebody who is, fit, somebody who is good looking, somebody who is, you see, so we are looking more of the outward, which is not as important as the inward.
Yeah.
You see, if you know who the person is going to be,
Okay.
it doesn't matter how the person is. Are you getting my point? If let me give you an example. For me, okay, so let me talk about the ladies and I'll talk about the guys. So for ladies, for me, I don't believe in my training, like my pastor, we used to have a ladies club. Then my pastor used to tell us that don't give yourself too many lists, but rather ask yourself that who is this person going to be? Because the Bible says that I am a helpmeet. I'm supposed to help you meet. So if you don't have anything in mind, what am I going to help you for? So I need a man who has a purpose. I need a man who needs a plan, who has a plan in life. I need a man who is going somewhere. Are you getting my point? I don't want to befriend anybody who is sitting beside a video game and does not have any vision.
Okay.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Now you are saying purpose, right?
So that is the purpose for the women.
Okay.
Because we go with list, we go with the beauty, we go with the height, we go with some people even go as far as if the person is rich or not rich. But I will stick.
But mommy, that is very important.
Yeah, money is good.
Yeah. Mommy, I'm glad you brought about have a list. I mean, some women having a tall list, and your pastor advising that you shouldn't have a tall list and all that. So what can you say about that?
It doesn't mean that the list is bad,
Okay.
but don't let the list bind you. That sometimes God will bring somebody your way, but the person might not have A, B, C, but you are expecting A, B, C, D, E, F.
Okay.
So because the person did not meet D, E, F, you cancel the person out. I believe in relationships.
Yeah.
So my principle is, when I was young, I used to have a lot of guy friends. So my principle is, if you come and ask me out, even if I don't like you, I don't insult you.
Okay.
But maybe one way or the other, you become a friend with no strings attached.
Okay.
So I like those kind of relationship better than people feeling that the very first day he meets you, I like you, and they were going out. No, no.
Mommy, a lot of men actually find that very they call it red flags. Like a woman who keeps more guys as friends close to them.
Because this generation, it's difficult to have guy friends. But in our generation, it was okay. Some of us were tomboys.
Okay.
And we worked with the guys. We did everything with them. And I went to sixth form in a boys' school. So it's everything you do is supposed to build character in you. It's not that you have a guy friend and that makes you, sexually connected. No.
I have two scenarios.
Okay.
Let's just say you are a lady
Uh-huh.
and a man approaches you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe two men approaches you.
Mm-hmm.
One has money,
Mm-hmm.
one doesn't have money.
Mm-hmm.
Aside the money, they are all having or doing the same kind of course, maybe program in the school
Mm-hmm.
together. Who are you going for as a woman?
What my priority is, I can choose either. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make me evil.
Okay.
But every woman will see you in a different way. God has created us that way. So when I see you, My main thing is it's not it's not the list I have. I'm not sticking to the list per se, but I'm sticking more to your purpose. Where you going?
Okay.
I want a man with a vision. I want a man with a know-how. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to carry himself.
Yeah.
You don't want somebody you should be telling the person what to do.
Okay.
No. I want somebody who has a vision.
If I should infer, then mommy, you are saying that as a woman, you should be supporting a man's vision. Is that what you are saying?
Well, whether you believe it or not, we are supposed to help you guys meet a need.
Okay.
So I'm a helpmeet.
Okay.
Okay. So as a helpmeet, whatever it is, I'm helping my husband. I help myself too. It doesn't mean that I'm helping my husband, I'm zoom. I don't do anything for myself.
Okay.
I'm helping my husband, I'm helping myself. I'm helping build my home because I am the builder of the house to make it a home. So that is where you, the woman, has to make sure that you are choosing this man with a purpose, with a plan. If it coincidentally the person happens to have money, excellent.
Okay.
If the person doesn't have money and you still feel that the person has a goal and is going somewhere, and the two of you together and with your innovation, you'll be able to go for it.
So, ladies, if the man has a vision and is going somewhere, and it's you are innovating, is that what you said, mommy?
Yeah.
Then you go for the vision, not the money, not the money.
I mean, the money and all the stuff is incentives.
Okay.
It comes with it.
Okay.
You can get money now, or you can get money later.
Okay.
It doesn't really. It shouldn't be your criteria.
Or
You shouldn't.
deal breaker.
Yeah, it shouldn't be the. I mean, if my husband has money, good.
Right.
He doesn't have money and he's doing something. It's way almost better.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come back from a quick break,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure you are actually enjoying it. Give me a like, a subscribe, and actually comment on what you like most about what you're listening to. I'll see you. Viewers, welcome back. Mommy was telling us that we should look for vision. I mean, it was relating to the women, right? Let's go back and listen to Mommy regarding what the men should actually do. So, Mommy, can you tell us, as the guys, what we should also look out for?
Okay. So the little that I know is for me, I love to be hunted.
Okay. Whoa.
I don't like guys who just hang around and don't say anything.
Let me just understand this one. You want a guy who has a purpose and will chase you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bible says that he that finds a wife
Okay.
finds a good thing
Yeah.
and receives favor from God.
Okay.
Proverbs 18:22. You cannot, whether you believe in it or not, whether you're a Christian or you're not a Christian, all the stuff you do is you hunt for the wife.
Oh.
So you go around looking around and you see this lady and you see her body, you see her face, and you like the physique.
Yeah.
But you see, are you just liking physique? Or are you just because when you marry, everything that you look, Bible says that the beauty will fade. You see,
Yeah.
3 years ago, all during the COVID, the biggest thing that came was the nyash.
Okay.
And all the guys were looking for the ladies with a big owl shape.
Yeah.
But at this point, the guys don't want they realize that it's too much.
Mhm.
So you have to know what you want. The beauty will fade, but a woman that fears God will last forever. And it doesn't mean that it's only in the church you can find them. In today's world, it's even difficult to find the right person even in church. So, but the church is an ideal place. It's a better place than to go to the club for a lady. In whatever you do, you need to find a person. That means even God is telling you, go look for it. Whether you believe it or not, whatever you are doing, you are looking for.
The men should chase
The men should chase the women
for what they want.
for what you want.
Okay.
Let the woman feel like he's loved. Let the woman feel that he's needed. You don't just come to my house and be a friend and just come to, it's nice to marry your friend. It's ideal. It's the best way
Why?
to marry your friend.
Why?
Why?
Yes.
When I marry my friend, if you are my friend, we can talk about anything. You see, remember I told you that I used to have a lot of guy friends. So we sit down, we all put our hands together, we eat, we go out, we go shopping, we go movies, we do all that with no strings attached. So you are comfortable with the person.
Yeah.
Hey, I can insult you and I don't feel bothered. You do something wrong, hey, I can tell you you don't smell good. I can tell you you don't do this. But you see, if you just come right to me and you want to marry me right away, you have so many things I might not even like. And because of your ego, you might not like me to tell you that you smell. But if you are my friend, you know that's how I am. You see? And I believe that I like my men in a particular way, dress in a particular way. So if my husband doesn't dress that way, for me, for 29 years, I'm the one that shop for my husband. You
I
get
believe those are some of the things you work in the relationship.
Yeah, because this is how I want my husband to look. It's not that he doesn't know how to buy. Now he knows how to buy his own stuff, but maybe the things he might put on, I might not like it so much. But I believe that he has to look good for me,
Yeah, yeah.
so I work on that.
And I know a lot of men, including myself, don't even know what things I should put on to look good. Sometimes you need a woman to give that feminine
Thank
touch.
you. Guys are good. They can dress up themselves. They can look sharp. But it's not all those guys that might have a vision or that might have the type of things you like. But if you meet somebody, for instance, if you have three guys, one looks very sharp, all dressy, all nice looking, and everything is perfect. And you meet another guy, he has a purpose, he has a vision. He doesn't dress good, he doesn't even know where the tie goes and which one matches and which he doesn't care. And you meet somebody on the HSA, he has no plan, he doesn't have, you have to choose within these three. I'll choose the one who has a plan. He knows where he's going, but he doesn't know how to dress. Those can be fixed.
Okay.
Are you getting my? Sometimes when I met my husband, he was an engineer, he had money, but he didn't know how to dress. I said, that's easy. Give me the money, I can get
Mommy,
fix the clothing.
I have a very important question.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
now you mentioned that a woman should look for a man with vision, and actually you look at where the man is going and whether it's going to be, it's actually what you want. In the end, it's actually value. But I want to ask you, what do you think? Should a woman has a value to bring on the table? What should a woman bring to the table? I know you are a doctor, and so I mean, just we could judge by socioeconomic status and all that. What and a lot of men are actually also expecting women or women to bring something to the marriage. What can you say about that?
In this generation, yes, because of the economic system, you cannot, unless the man is already rich and the man is already well off. But it's always good. You see, the woman's goal is to build the house. Whatever you give the woman, that's what he's going to use to build. And I remember the prophet will say that if you give a woman a sperm, he will give you a baby. If you give a woman trouble, he will give you a hala. So whatever you give me, that is what I'm going to give you. If you give me love,
Okay.
submission, love, everything will come automatically with no problem. But you see, the opposite happens when men who say their wives don't submit, it's because they don't love their wives. Because if you love me as Christ loved the church, submission will come automatically. And it's very true. For instance, I'm sitting here, if my husband takes me to on a vacation, nice vacation, I'm enjoying myself, still submission.
Your ideal vacation
Uh,
is
it's
Barbados.
no. My ideal vacation is not Maldives or maybe Dubai or something. I mean, you see, if the husbands are loving their wives as Christ loved the church, Christ loved us sacrificially.
Okay.
You see, this is where the iron meets the rod, because to be sacrificial is not simple. Oh. It's not simple. There are times your body is screaming to reply, but it says, Charlie, just keep quiet.
Okay.
You see, so it is a difficult in marriage, you should intentionally make it work, or else it's not going to work.
Marriage, you should intentionally make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And you do that by loving sacrificially.
Mm-hmm.
Right from the break, we'll discuss more. Stay with me. Viewers, welcome back. And I know you are enjoying our conversation. Now let's go. Mommy, one of the very good questions that I have actually been able to see is that I want to know, at what stage should I look for a partner, or should a person look for a partner?
This is a very big, because we are Ghanaians in America, so the cultures are kind of different.
Okay.
But I would say that a woman is ready to marry, to settle down, when she has things in perspective. A guy should be doing something.
Now, mommy, let's go back. And things in perspective. What do you mean?
You see, for the woman, that was it's a difficult question, but I'm trying to break it down such that I'm thinking about myself.
Okay.
At what point did I feel like I'm ready? When a woman is ready for marriage, she's ready. There are things that she consciously prepares herself for. Don't just say you want to marry when you sit idle and do nothing. um what are the things I have to prepare myself for? I have to know that, okay, if I bring somebody into my life, it's going to be a different ball game. I'm going to be able to cater for the person is going to cater for me. Am I ready for that? um
Am I even ready to bear kids, to start nurturing kids?
no, you can marry, and the children comes in later, depending on what you decide. So normally, if you don't talk about it, it can come impromptu.
Okay.
So it's better to discuss. That's why it's always nice when you were friends before the relationship. So you could discuss some of these basic things, and because you are my friend, I know, oh, as for this guy, he wants kids early or he doesn't want kids early. So those are things that you build on, you get to know. So but if you're not talking and you don't know anything and you doing what you're not supposed to do, definitely the
Babies will
children
surprise
will
you.
will surprise you.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
at what stage should we actually, I mean, regarding?
There is no stage.
Okay.
It's your maturity.
Okay.
I would say it's the maturity. Somebody can be in our culture here in the valley, from 19, 20 people are getting married. But where we come from in Ghana, it's a little older. Like, you prefer to have finished your first degree or something before you marry. But even that, you finishing the first degree doesn't qualify you to marry, because you might not be matured enough to marry. So the thing is, how responsible are you? How are you able to cater for somebody's child?
Yeah.
And that person, for instance, you married at the age of 25. Your girlfriend or your wife is 22. 22 years, she was trained by somebody. And now this person, the two of you are coming to sit down, live together, and you are going to act like your training, your life should blend.
Okay.
It doesn't blend that quick. It takes a long time before you see that the surfacing will start blending, because you were brought up a different way. I was brought up a different way.
Is that not the case for when people don't court before they marry?
It's not true. Worship is nice, but it doesn't tell you everything.
Okay.
There is so many people can court. Even in today's generation, some of the guys, they live together, but yet they still don't know the moment the marriage thing comes upon your head, it's a different ball game.
The other person start revealing their true self.
Yeah, it's not the other person. From you because you take each other for granted. For instance, if I'm courting you, there are some things you will never see about me. You come every time you come and visit me looking nice. Even when I hear you are coming, I quickly clean up the place. I make sure there are things you don't see.
Because I want the marriage.
Yeah. No, because I want the marriage, because I want the relationship. I cherish the love that we are enjoying. The moment we marry, you know, you come, you throw your socks on the floor. Me too, I come, I throw my jacket somewhere. and you don't like it and I don't like it, and why did you put your socks here? Why can't you put your socks in the bin? Why can't you put your things in the laundry? Why do you keep your stuff all cluttered up in the closet?
So two scenarios. Mommy.
So it's
Would you advise that you marry
Mhm.
right into it, or you court for a while?
You definitely you have to court.
Okay.
You can't marry right away. I mean,
what's the duration, the ideal duration?
you got, yeah. I don't believe in courting for 7 years. That's the whole degree.
Okay.
It's not medical school you are going. Because if you can court for 7 years, but you still wouldn't know the person you're dealing with.
Okay.
I mean, averagely, I think averagely 1 year, 6 months, 1 year is okay.
1 year, 6 months.
6 months to 1 year, but it shouldn't be more than 2 years. That would be too much.
Those of you who have dated for 2, 3 years to 7 years, you are not courting
For a degree.
For a degree, you have to decide to marry. Okay, because mommy is saying that courting doesn't mean you are going to see everything, right? You just have to know your ideal person, and if the person fits in that vision and that situation you're looking for, then you go in for it. Okay, mommy, what are some of the compromises that I need to compromise? A lot of people talk about compromises in marriages. And so I know in situations where a woman will decide to abandon her job just because they want to make the marriage work in one way or the other. What do you say about that?
It's always a decision between the two of you. You see, whatever the two of you agree to. There's one thing that I would also chip in here whilst we're talking. Life is full of choices.
Okay.
Your choice is going to determine who you are tomorrow. So you can be the president of America, but if you don't choose a bright spouse, your presidency will be in shambles.
Yeah.
But if you find a good wife, you receive favor from God. And your life, because that woman knows how to manage, there will be a time that the woman might not be working. There will be a time that the woman is working. But whichever way the way the two of you would come together and make it work, it's what is the key here. It's not if you putting your wife as a housewife would settle everything, because the woman has to take care of the house and the man has to work. In today's generation, you need a two income in order to live comfortably.
Okay.
Unless maybe the man is already rich or you were born into a rich family, that's a different story. But depending on the situation you find yourself, you need to make choices and arrangements such that the two of you will be comfortable.
Okay, mommy, I see. I know. Previously you mentioned that we are Ghanaians, right? Living in America. I want to ask you. It's most of the situations. I would say that the man would like to be dominant, and in some of these situations, maybe the woman may not support, but for the sake of trying to make the marriage work. And so, what are some of the acceptable compromises that a woman should consider? Because we cannot just leave it for the men all the time.
No, but why do you think it's only the woman that should consider? Because, for instance, when I was in school, when I was doing my PhD, my husband and I were both doing PhDs together.
Okay.
We had one kid. Okay. So we were shuffling between this kid and going to school and doing our TA and working on campus to sustain, get our stipend and all that. There are times that I will stay on campus late. My husband has to go and pick my kid. There are times that we all will come to home, especially on Fridays, we all come home early. He would have to help. There are times he will come in, but you see, the African man is trained in a different way. So if I'm married to you, I know where you are coming from. So there are some compromises. Most African women, especially in the diaspora, so many women have to go through a lot. Because some of the men don't do anything. Because they were brought up in Africa or in Ghana that men don't work in the house.
Okay. Yeah.
But remember that in America, both of you are working. it's not in a typical Ghanaian setting where it's only the guy working. But even now in Ghana, things have changed.
A lot of things have changed.
Both of you are working, so you, the man, has to be considerate. And that is one thing I like Prophet Nana say about, because he will tell you that, hey, if you come and you see that your wife is even sick and is still shuffling the kids and doing that and is going to grocery and doing that, there are some things you can do which will not touch your ego or your image.
Okay.
Are you getting my point? An African man, today's setting, I think your generation is getting better. But previously, even when the man is taking out the trash, he gets angry because in Africa, that his mom, if my mom sees that I'm taking trash from or sweeping the house, is going to be no.
Yeah.
It cannot be. I work 12 hours shift. Sometimes I go night shift. So if my husband is here with my daughter, he would have to make sure my daughter has eating. So you see, it's a joint compromise where we both, but if the man wants to stand on its ground as an African man and doesn't want to do anything and expect the home to move smoothly, there's always chaos. Because remember, the woman is working the same hours you are working. You expect that when you come in, your food is ready, your dinner is ready to eat.
Yeah.
You expect that if you have children, the kids are taken. If the kids are younger, are toddlers, or even it's more chaotic because kids have to be taken care of. They need to take a shower. They need to eat. They need to go to sleep. All those things the women will do. But if you're an African man and you don't help your wife, you're looking for chaos.
Okay.
You won't last in today's generation.
All right. Mommy, so I think we will talk about a lot. I have two other questions that is very special to, I think, my viewers. And so right from the break, we'll talk about it. Viewers, welcome back. Let's just go straight into what we actually ended. Let's take off. Mommy, I think I heard you say Prophet Nana says Sarkodie. Can you talk more about some of the principles
He's my prophet that I follow in Ghana from the Porter's City at Miocho Pram Pram. And he does talk a lot. I enjoy him because he talks a lot about marriage and he advises, especially an African man and an African woman in the diaspora, some of the ways we should live that will make our lives comfortable.
Yes. So talking about that, I know you mentioned that an African man and the way they have to go about it. So I have been in the news for a while. I've seen in the news for a while that a lot of marriages in America don't last. Typical instances, maybe a Ghanaian man brings over the wife from Ghana to the America, and now a lot of problems, and it don't last. And we've also seen a lot of divorce cases in America. Why are marriages in America don't last?
I won't say marriages in America. Truly, marriages in general in this generation don't last.
Oh.
From Ghana, everywhere. The statistics is true. I mean, there are so many marriages that they will start the weddings and everything nice, and by the next. Why? Because when you enter marriage, it's a different ballgame. That's why I said that don't waste your time courting one person for 7 years and you don't marry the person. Because at the end of the day, when you marry the person, what are you bringing in and what am I bringing in?
Yeah.
Why marriages in America don't work is most of our African men don't want to change. They want to be the same way they are in Ghana or in Africa. Because in Africa, maybe most of the women might have help at home, which the Ghanaian woman in America doesn't have or cannot afford. But if my husband wants to live the same way he lived in Ghana, as he wants to be in America, it's going to be cause rift. Because we are all going to do the same job. Why? Why am I doing the same job as you? You want both monies to survive. So if you want both monies to bring home to survive, to make our lives easy, then the man should also come in and help
And support.
and support.
Yeah.
So don't come back from work and prop your legs and eat your dinner and then go and watch your TV or watch your football or whatever and leave the kids and leave the home and leave everything on the woman to do. There are times that you maybe if you come home early, clean up the house, tidy the place, or maybe start the food. It is all love. It is all romance. If I come and you are cooking, it's nice. I appreciate what you're doing. But you see, if the woman comes and is tired and is going to have to do all that, there's going to come a time that she's exhausted.
Yeah.
And sometimes too, because of the cultures, in over here in the American setting, the men help. You see, an American man would help you in the house if they love you. But it doesn't mean they are perfect. But those are some of the cultural differences we have.
I think that is one of the aspects that
And that is why I said that I like the teachings of Prophet Nanase Opokusa Akodia, because he tells the men, help your wives. Go shopping for your wives. Go do these are things as an African man will not go out of his comfort zone to do. You will never see an African man go to Victoria's Secret to go and buy lingerie for the wife, or maybe buy flowers, or maybe buy. You see, some people have learned, some people have evolved, but some people too know they don't want to change at all. But you see, every little thing that you do that your wife will appreciate, it's not just flowers and it's not just lingerie, it's not just chocolate or whatever, but sometimes the little things you do. I believe women, our romance starts from the little things you do for us. Yeah.
Mommy, thank you very much, Mommy, for having to come to my show, DJ's podcast.
Thank you.
But I want you to leave us with some experiences and some bit of something that you would like to tell us, just as a takeaway.
Okay. I would tell the women that if somebody approaches you, if a guy comes, if you are of the age to marry, and somebody comes to, because when you get from your 20s to 25, you are primed to marry. So you see the men coming to you. That's how God has done it. But you will have to be able to choose wisely. Choose wisely is that you cannot just keep hopping from one man to the other, because whatever you mistakes you do will track you when you marry. You don't want to marry somebody and they'll tell you, oh, that was my ex, that was my ex, and you have too many exes. You see, it's an eyesore to have too many exes, and then it's like, okay, finally I got married. It doesn't mean that if you've done that already, you can't move forward. But if you can prevent it now, I'm talking to the 20s student. For us that are old, we've done so many bad things that you cannot correct. But thank God for God's grace. If you are within 20 to 25 and it's your prime time, please choose wisely. And choose wisely, pray about the person that you see. Because sometimes people would masquerade themselves in a different way. My father said, "Emma pe nkwasiafo."
Okay.
In the translation from the tree translation, that means women or girls like stupid people, stupid men. It's not that we love, but because we see whatever we see, appreciate,
You are attracted by the eyes.
eyes.
Okay.
Because so this guy comes in all dressed up and he's rapping and he's saying all the nice things you want to hear.
Okay.
And this is another guy who comes in and he's sitting down quietly. He's not doing anything. He's not saying anything. When it comes to choosing, if you're not careful, you choose the one that talks nice because he appeals to you so well. But sometimes he might not be the right person. So that is why when the guy finds you, you need to make sure you choose wisely. For the men, go find your wife. That is the best and the most important thing in life. If you marry wrongly, you'll be in trouble. Your life will be most miserable. But if you marry right, you will enjoy your life to the fullest. So marry wisely. Pick the right person. Find the woman that God has for you. I'm not saying, I don't want to make it religious that you would think that, do I have to pray? Yes, you can do all that. But whatever it is, you have to open your eyes and look for the person. Is this woman the type of woman that I like? It's not just the butt or the breast or the face or whatever, but you need to look beyond that. And that would help you a lot.
Thank you so much, Mommy. I am so happy, and I think my viewers are so happy to listen to all the good things that you have actually told us today. And I think I myself enjoyed it. And if you also enjoyed it, please don't forget to subscribe, like my videos, and comment. Actually, is very important to me. Comment. Let us do what we are doing best, what we are doing wrong. And I'll see you in the next episode.
Have you gone through any heartbreaks before?
As a young gentleman or lady, you have gone through a heartbreak.
How was
So
the feeling
yes, I
like?
have. It was bad. Yes.
So was that your case where you were unable to eat? I hear those stories a lot.
Yes, I agree. The first one, yes. Like my mom had to come to my room and be like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you in your room the whole day?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm alright." But then at night, I have to go through a little bit of crying.
How long did it take for you to?
I think it was like 7 months. Oh no, for me to recover, maybe like 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yes, because I started talking to other girls.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, sometimes someone will have money,
Yeah.
but the lady wouldn't be into the person, but into the money.
Yeah.
So she likes you, but she wants to get that money.
Oh.
So she might cheat on you, you find out, and that's a breakup.
Yeah.
For someone like me, once you cheat and I find out, unless I don't find out,
Okay.
if I find out, I'm done. So,
But what about if you cheat? You want her to leave?
truthfully, I hardly cheat, but if I cheat and she finds out, she should leave.
Okay.
If you like someone,
Yeah.
it should be a good enough reason for you to go and cheat on them.
Okay. Should women approach men if they like them?
Yes.
But that's uncommon.
In the US, it's a little bit common.
Okay.
From where we are from,
Okay.
it's hard to find that.
Okay.
But still, some people do experience it. I was trying to pair my uncle with a lady I knew. My uncle was 42 years.
Whoa.
He was shy. 42 years, has a business, has money. He was shy.
Have you been manipulated before?
Oh yes, everyone has been manipulated before.
Okay.
But there's a difference between being manipulated and sacrificing.
Yeah.
Some women are very good at manipulation. Sometimes you might not even see it until after the relationship ends. Then you remember that you were actually being manipulated.
Yeah.
And you didn't even know once you were in there.
Okay. Dave, I'm really enjoying this.
Yes, sir. The most important thing is finding yourself, knowing who you are.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to DJ's podcast, where we discuss everything relationship. Whether you are dealing with heartbreak or trying to understand the real meaning of love, you are in the right space. With me today, I have a very important guest that will discuss common issues about relationship, and I believe you don't want to miss this. I will see you when we come back. Welcome back. With me today, I am privileged to introduce one of my good friends who I happen to meet here in the United States. And so I believe he is so much into and understand the realities of relationship. With me today, I will introduce David. David, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi guys, I go by the name David Asumedu from Paul. Just a young gentleman trying to find his feet in life. I think that will do for now.
Okay. Have you gone through any heartbreaks before?
I think everyone has gone through it. Even people who try to deny it have gone through it.
Okay.
As a young gentleman or lady, you have gone through a heartbreak.
How was
So
the feeling
yes,
like?
I have. It was bad. The first one was brutal. The second one was alright. Because I think after the first one, you get a little bit of understanding of how relationship works.
Okay.
And sometimes, not that you expect it, but sometimes you know it can happen.
Yeah.
So your heart is a little bit prepared for that. So yes.
So was that your case where you were unable to eat? I hear those stories a lot.
Yes, I agree. The first one, yes. Like my mom had to come to my room and be like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you in your room the whole day?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm alright." But then at night, I have to go through a little bit of crying. I think I was around 17, 18 at this point. Yes.
You started dating that early?
Yes, I started my first original relationship at 17.
Okay.
And I had to leave her to university.
Okay.
And when I was in university, she was messing up. So yes, that was it.
Wow. Wow. How long did it take for you to?
I think it was like 7 months. Oh no, for me to recover, maybe like 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yes,
Come
because
on.
I started talking to other girls.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We'll come back right there. I want to know in that process what was going through your mind. Can you tell us? Kindly describe how that feeling looks like.
Yes, I think everyone will have a different opinion, but personally, you get to question a lot of things. What did I do wrong?
Okay.
Was I bad somewhere? Was I not enough?
Okay.
Or is she the problem? Am I the problem? You know, these are some of the questions you get to ask yourself.
Okay.
And sometimes you get an advantage to ask the person you are involved with.
Okay.
If you don't, then you have to still, it's more like answer the questions yourself.
Okay.
So you ask yourself these questions and you turn back to try to understand what you're really going through.
Okay.
Was I the problem? Did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are some of the things that are running into my mind.
Okay. So, I mean, you said that you were able to recover in 3 weeks.
Yes. So it takes a while to recover because even after 6 months, it might dawn on you.
Okay.
So this girl actually did this to me, right? So yeah, it's kind of funny, but that's my experience, and I feel like a lot of people go through it. But you see, some men try to act tough, so they wouldn't really share this part of their life, right? So it's funny after like 3-4 months because then once it comes into your mind, you kind of laugh and brush it off.
Yeah.
But the first 3 weeks to a month is the tough one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. You mentioned that you had some options, and that was the reason why you recovered so fast.
I mean, I wouldn't really say options, but you know, freshman university, there are girls, right? So I was able to like talk to some girls, you know, not necessarily date them, but I just talk to them to kill off time.
Okay.
So that process helped me to recover.
Okay. I've seen situations where people intentionally date other girls. In this case, maybe if it's a guy, he will intentionally date other girls just because they want to put a revenge on someone else. What do you have to say about that?
Well, morally and ethics, you can't really do that to someone because relationship is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's playing with someone's heart.
Okay.
So growing up till now, if I'm not interested in a relationship with you, I'll just let you know.
Okay.
I'm not interested in a relationship. If you are down to whatever I'm interested in, if not, I'm not interested in a relationship. So let's just go the other route. Or let's just stay friends, or let's just stay strangers. So to me, I feel like all those people that do that, because the fact that someone did something about you doesn't mean you have to do the same to others. So
I want us to help someone else. I want us to help my viewers.
Okay.
As somebody with that experience and also being able to recover, can you tell my viewers how they should deal with heartbreaks and how to recover?
Okay. Viewers. Well, I feel like for a teenager, 16, 17, 18 years, heartbreak is bound to happen.
Wow.
Because that's why when I see people, my opinion, when I see people getting married at 18 years or 19 years, I'm like, because 98% of the time it's not going to work because you don't know what a relationship is.
Okay.
So this is to the younger generation, 16, 17, 18 years. Go through it. Wow. It's normal. The older people, you already know a lot. But then I feel like once you share a little bit of your problem, it's a little bit solved.
Yeah.
People can't come and replace your heart or your feelings, but sometimes the words from them alone can comfort you and put you at the right spot. So if you are going through a relationship, talk to someone you trust. It can be your mom, it can be your dad, it can be your mentor, it can be your friend.
Yeah.
Any kind of experience or any kind of comfort that person gives you will really help you. My twin brother helped me to recover my first relationship. Nice. My mom also helped me. Yeah. My second one, I spoke to my mom, but I was all right because I'd already seen it.
I think I like your mom. I mean, if a parent is able to.
Yes, she's very good. Like, she's that kind of parent. I say a lot of things to. Yeah. People say I'm mama babat, whatever.
Yeah, but it helps.
It does help. Yeah. It really helps. For you to be able to open up to a parent is a big deal, especially from where we grew up from. Yeah. So the most important thing about heartbreaks is sharing it with someone. Okay. And it's basically every aspect of your life. If you're going through an addiction, if something is disturbed, if you're betting and you are losing money, talk to someone you really trust, someone you know can be of help. It could be your pastor. Yeah. Yeah. You know, so it just has to be confidential, right? I think basically that's like the first step to heartbreak, solving it, and also try to do what you like.
Okay.
Try to understand yourself as a person.
To take your mind off that.
That's why when I see people dating and everything is about their partner, I feel sorry for them because once they leave, you're going to suffer.
Yeah.
So even when you're in a relationship, try to do something you love alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about the common things that cause breakup. Because I'm coming from this angle, okay?
Mhm.
If a guy leaves a girl,
Mhm.
most likely a girl will get heartbroken.
Mhm.
If a lady leaves a guy will be the one that, so that whoever leaves first, it looks as if the other partner is what is going to is the one going to
Experience it.
Yes, experience it. Tell me the common things that actually happen. Why do relationships suddenly fall off?
Okay, that's a very good question.
Yeah.
From my point of view, I feel like sometimes the first thing is material stuff.
Okay.
So especially the ladies, right?
They want money.
From where we grew up from, and even here in the US, it's general. It's not where we just grew up from. Even here in the US, the ladies, some of them, so they see something better than you or something they think is better than you.
Wow.
People don't really look at what is ahead. They want now to enjoy now, right? So that's one thing that can lead. Sometimes someone will have money, but the lady wouldn't be into the person, but into the money.
Yeah.
So she likes you, but she wants to get that money.
Oh.
So she might cheat on you, you find out, and that's a breakup.
Yeah.
Because someone like me, once you cheat and I find out, unless I don't find out. Okay. If I find out, I'm done.
But what about if you cheat, you want her to leave?
Truthfully, I hardly cheat, but if I cheat and she finds out, she should leave.
Okay.
I mean, I would beg her to stay, blah blah blah. But you see, the funny thing about all these things is, even inward, like in my heart, I'll still feel some kind of way. I'll have this paranoid feeling of her doing the same thing to me. That's why I hardly cheat, because I feel like if you like someone, it should be a good enough reason for you to go and cheat on them.
Okay.
So I think material stuff is like the main thing that draws girls into other people's bedroom or cars or whatever.
Yeah.
Also, people get tired. It gets boring.
Okay.
In relationships.
Yeah.
But the best thing I'll tell everyone is once it gets boring and you are fed up, just tell the partner, I don't want it again. I want us to stop. Than to cheat on him or her or manipulate him or her into thinking she or he is the problem.
Yeah.
Just be a man or woman enough to say, let's finish this and move on.
I like everything that you have said.
Sure.
Viewers, from David, if you are going through heartbreak, the best thing is to talk to somebody you trust. Once you do that, it takes off your mind and never take on a revenge on an innocent person.
That's bad.
I will see you when we come back. Yes, welcome back, viewers. David, so my viewers want to know, how would you feel as a man if a woman approaches you? Should women approach men if they like them?
Yes.
But that's uncommon. That's not common.
In the US, it's a little bit common.
Okay.
From where we are from,
it's
hard to find that.
Okay.
But still, some people do experience it. I would say, so I'm going to talk in both aspects. From a male's point of view and from a female. So for a male, it's very good for us because it boosts our confidence as well. So once a lady approaches you, you feel that, okay, so actually I'm that attractive for a lady to like me.
Yeah.
So
but I think it goes the other way too. Women will be like, okay, the guys are approaching me. It means I mean a lot to them.
I mean, true, but I feel like every kind of girl have had at least one or two boys approach them.
Yeah.
So it's a normal for them.
Okay.
Especially if you're a little bit nice, it's very normal to them.
Yeah.
But for gentlemen, even if you are that nice, it's still not very normal.
Okay.
So it boosts our confidence, I would say, which is a good thing. Because once you're confident, then like, okay, so I can actually get girls to talk to me. That's good. For the ladies, also, it makes you very attractive for you to be able to approach a man. It means you know what you want, and then you are going for that. And I've heard stories where people actually approach men and they are married. It worked for them. Because sometimes we are shy.
Yeah.
As gentlemen. It doesn't matter if you are 40 years old or 30 years old. Sometimes we are shy. Yes. Sometimes the men are shy.
Yeah.
I was trying to pair my uncle with a lady I knew. My uncle was 42 years.
Whoa.
He was shy. 42 years, he has a business, has money. He was shy.
Was it like a lack of confidence?
Yes.
Whoa.
So, so the lady had to like help him know that she's interested. And then, okay, if you're interested, then I'm not afraid to shoot my shot.
But a conventional way that women see this is okay, if I approach first, it looks like I'm desperate, and that kind of thing. I mean, how do we correct that kind of mentality?
It's just a different mindset.
Yeah.
And we go into those mindsets.
Yeah.
Because of where we're from,
Yeah.
we know that a man has to approach a woman.
Yeah.
I've seen other people even say to their daughter that don't ever approach a man because you sound desperate.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not about being desperate. It's about knowing the kind of man you want.
Yeah.
And maybe you might look very beautiful. So other men will feel shy to even approach you.
Yeah.
And so once you approach him, he might be feeling you, but he's also shy because he feels you are not at his level.
Yeah.
So once you approach him, it makes things a little bit easy for both of you.
Yeah. What is the type of woman or the ideal type of woman that every man desires?
That's very subjective.
What is the ideal type of woman you desire?
That's a good question.
Because you said it's subjective.
Yes. So personally, I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
So the first thing I look out for is a woman who's a Christian.
Yeah.
Sorry to say, but I can marry any other religion just for the sake of my kids.
Okay.
So that's the first thing I look out for.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like a very, very good Christian. I can make you a very good Christian.
Yeah.
It's just something really.
Dave, you can make your woman a very good Christian.
We will both make each other a very good Christian.
Did you go to church today?
We can make each other very good Christians. So I think I can debate you about
this whole you can make.
Yes, I'm trying to swim away from that. But yes. I feel like the first thing I look out for is that. And also, I always tell people that make sure your woman is not scared to invest in you. Mostly, we invest in women as men.
Yeah.
But trust me, if I'm in a relationship with you, after the first 6 months, you invest in me.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how small it is. It doesn't have to be money.
Everybody invests in the kind of things they like.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be just money.
Yeah.
There are other things you can invest in someone.
Yeah.
Your time, even just an information.
Yeah.
Checking out something for your partner.
Yeah.
Buying books for your partner. There are a lot. Taking your partners to places they want to go live.
Yeah.
So that's also one thing. If a woman is not willing to invest in me, I've dated girls for 3 months and I realized they're not willing to invest. I just leave them. I'll be like, you're not the type of person I want to be with. So,
but what's the common reason they feel like a woman can't?
Yeah, basically they have this mindset of a man should be the provider every time. I'm not saying I'm not going to provide. I am going to.
Of course.
But then it has to be like 70-30, 80-20.
Yeah.
Sometimes it will even be 80 for the woman and 20 for me.
Yeah.
Because
just to test the situation.
Because I always say dating is we date to marry.
Yeah.
So if I'm dating you and I lose my job
or
I go through a situation where I don't have money,
that is the moment the woman has to show that.
And you have it. Why can't you provide? If I always provide.
Yeah.
So.
But it starts from the beginning. Like if they were able to invest in you, then it demonstrates that during the hard times,
it's going
to happen.
So any lady, if I ever dated you and you're watching this, you invested in me.
Now what's the profit for them? I mean, they invested in you. So.
I mean, I also invested in them more than they invested in me. Okay. But just the idea of a woman liking you enough to invest something in you, it's good. So sometimes I even test my woman. Like I'll be like, I can call my girlfriend and be like, I have a situation. I need like $400.
Okay.
Can you help me?
Yeah.
And I'll ask the time I know she has money.
Okay. Yeah.
98% of the time, they'll send it to me and I just send it back.
Yeah.
So to me, she has to be able to invest in you. Yeah. She has to be a good Christian. You guys have to like each other to the point that you sacrifice. Yeah. Like relationship is all about compromising.
Yeah.
So whatever she likes or you like, there should be a compromise in between, and then you have to build upon it.
Okay. What's the best way that a man should approach a woman?
Okay. So it depends. The Gen Zs, we just go into the social media, we just slide in DMs, which is still a good way to approach. But don't go and be goofing around. Like, go as natural as possible. Sometimes people say pick-up lines work, but it doesn't have to be corny. But to me, I feel like just going into the DMs and say, I find you very beautiful or attractive.
Wow.
If you don't have a boyfriend, can we talk? That's very direct.
Yeah.
Also, it depends. If you want to go like being like a snake, then maybe you can go as a friend, trying to create a conversation and be friendly. And then
which one works?
I think going straight works. Wow. Letting her know your intention from the start, it really works.
Why does that work?
I don't know, but to me, I've used it and it works.
It probably demonstrate confidence.
Yes, so you just go straight to the point. I feel you're attractive. I want to probably take you on a date, or we should hang out sometime. If she doesn't have a boyfriend, sometimes even those who have boyfriends still want to do it.
They want to go.
Because they feel your kind of confidence, as you said, for you to just come into their DMs and put that kind of command there. Yeah. It's attractive to some of these ladies, right? Yeah. So also, if you see someone outside, you could also approach them more natural. Hey, I feel you're attractive. Like, my name is this. Maybe what do you do? Just try to create a simple conversation, and that can lead up to giving her number to you or her Instagram or something, and then continue from there.
Dave, I have heard so many stories that women say they admire this kind of approach. Imagine a woman and a guy approaches you and comes that direct. It shows that, hey, they can actually command whatever form of manhood that you desire.
True.
So I actually have heard much stories about that.
True.
Yeah. So viewers, you should always demonstrate confidence. If you find a woman attractive and you want to go out and date that person, don't hesitate. From David, take it from us. Go straight and direct whatever feelings you have for the woman to respond. And most of the time, it's going to be a positive response. I would see you when we come back from it. Welcome back. Viewers, if you are still with me, kindly hit the subscribe button and help us grow. Dave, you were talking about approaching women. We want to know. Okay, now we are in the US, okay? And we were in Ghana. So now we know the two. Kindly tell us, is it the same way or the same approach that a person should go with? Probably going to meet a white or maybe a black. Do you think it's the way you approach a white is different from the way you approach a black?
That's a good question. Well, naturally, we are from two different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So it can be the same.
Yeah.
To me, having spoken to a lot of black people and having or Africans and even black Americans and having spoken to white people, if you go by the more traditional and natural way of just saying hi, I feel you're attractive, I want to get to know you, that works for everyone.
Okay.
And even with that one, sometimes it doesn't really work for the Africans, but it works for everyone.
Yeah.
To the best, averagely.
Yeah.
But then we pick up lines or trying to be funny.
Yeah.
It mostly works for the white people.
Okay.
Because I feel like the white people have a very good sense of humor than Ghanaians or Africans.
Okay.
So, because I've had a privilege of saying a pickup joke to a white person and it worked out.
Yeah.
And I've had the same privilege of saying a pickup joke to a Ghanaian lady, and she was like,
"What are you trying to
like, just tell me if you want to have my number, just say." Or maybe she wasn't in a good mood. Okay. So that can be, so it's more of an individual thing. Yeah. But I feel like it's not always the same.
Yeah.
It's a little bit easy with the white people, especially if she's feeling you a little bit. Yeah. But the black people, it's hard. Yeah. Even if she's feeling you, she tries to make it a little bit hard. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I've heard that people say that, okay, if you meet a white person, you try to be like, okay, like, you compliment the person. And that opens doors to more conversation, and you can actually approach them.
True. Some
Did you ever try
Africans,
that?
Some Africans it works, especially those with like very, like they have like very good sense of humor. Okay. They've been through a lot already, but sometimes it doesn't.
Okay. Okay, but before that, let's come back. Let's come back from a break. Welcome back, viewers. I hope you are enjoying the conversation. If you do like what you are seeing or viewing, please comment on the video, give us a like, and subscribe to the channel. This will help us grow. Thank you. David, I want to ask you, you have been talking about confidence, but I believe that is a mark of an alpha man. So I want to know, tell us, what are some of the traits of an alpha man that women desire a lot? Because women view different kinds of men different ways. But the one with which they go in for depends on what they see. And I think I attribute this to who an alpha man is. So tell us a little bit about the traits of an alpha man.
I heard someone say everyone wants to be with an alpha male or female until they are actually with them.
Oh.
So, yeah. So it's kind of hard to deal with an alpha man.
Okay.
Because these kind of men are very, very confident.
Okay. They know what they're about.
Yes, they try to command everywhere they are at.
Okay.
Sometimes they don't have to even talk.
Okay.
But then once they are there, it shows.
Whoa.
So confidence is definitely one of the traits of an alpha man. It doesn't necessarily mean, some people think they are alpha male, but
Yeah.
they're probably not.
Okay.
Because it's not something you force on yourself or onto people. It's something that people see.
Okay.
It's more like someone saying, I dress way better than everyone else, but then people actually around him knows he doesn't dress.
He doesn't dress. Okay.
So for people to see something about you is different from seeing something about yourself.
Yeah.
So confidence is one main thing.
Yeah.
Commanding respect is also another thing about alpha male.
Okay.
Being a leader. People say leaders are born.
Yeah.
Sometimes people learn to lead, right?
Okay.
But an alpha male, if you're an alpha male, then you're a good leader.
Okay.
So you can lead your woman, and not just your woman. You can lead your entire family. You can lead even your friends. You can lead people.
Okay.
Once you see people coming to you to seek even advice, it's a trait of being an alpha.
Yeah.
Some people would say being an alpha male means you should have money too, which is true in a way because
money makes everything alpha.
Money makes you confident.
Yeah.
Money makes you.
Yeah.
Money won't make you a good leader.
Yeah.
But then I've heard people even say once you can make money, it means you're a good leader.
Yeah.
Because it takes someone who knows how to fish, to teach people how to fish.
Yeah.
So yes.
Oh, nice. So we are still talking about alpha men, right? And so one of the things that I actually also see sometimes is that women manipulate men, and they have a very creepy way of manipulating men. For example, okay, they want to come up with all different sort of stories just for you to go, the man to go all out to demonstrate that kind of safe space they want to be. In what way do women manipulate men? And does this work on alpha men?
If you're an alpha man,
Yeah.
a woman can still manipulate you.
Have you been manipulated before?
Oh yes, everyone has been manipulated before.
Okay.
You probably wouldn't see it if it's not that big of a manipulation.
Yeah.
Because anything can be a manipulation.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between being manipulated and sacrificing.
Yeah.
So an example is, let's say I want to eat Wingstop.
Yeah.
My girlfriend wants to eat McDonald's.
Yeah.
And she's like, we have to eat one meal.
That's a sacrifice.
I can sacrifice and be like, let's all go eat McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's probably no manipulation.
Like Mr. Otia. I mean, that's what I want to mean, like Mr. Otia.
So yes. So I feel like even an alpha male maybe he might not feel manipulated, but for some people it might feel like a manipulation.
Yeah.
Some women are very good at manipulation. So sometimes you might not even see it until after the relationship ends. Then you remember that you were actually being manipulated.
Yeah.
And you didn't even know once you were in there.
Okay.
So it depends, but I feel like at some point in your life, everyone is manipulated.
Should you pay just to see a woman?
What do you mean by pay?
Okay. To what extent should you go for a woman to feel like they need you? Because I feel like it boils down to this.
This is very funny. Sometimes when I see TikTok trends or see TikTok or Instagram and I see some of the comments, sometimes, especially with this whole issue with 50-50 household and stuff like that, and I see most of the black people, Africans, Black Americans, they tend to say they can't go 50-50 with their man because God shows he's the alpha male or he's the alpha man.
Yeah.
But trust me, we are the same people that are kind of broke in USA. All the people that are like very rich, they probably don't go 50-50, but the lady still helps in the house. She still does stuff to support the husband. So what I'm trying to say is being an alpha male doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be 100% provider. You could be 100% provider, but your woman still should find a space and means to help to make things. Because even if a man is making $200,000 and the woman is staying at home,
that's a good money.
It is good, but we always try to go ahead of life. So if you're making 200, what stops both of you coming together and making 500 or 400,000? So it's just.
Dave, I'm really enjoying this.
Yes, sir.
All right, viewers, thank you very much for being with us. We will discuss further when we come back from the break. Welcome back. Dave, can you tell us your final take? Advise my viewers. Tell us what you think we should do in terms of how to deal with women, and for the women, how to deal with men.
That's great. Viewers, younger generations, listen to your big brother. Older generations, listen to your son or your small brother. I feel like the most important thing is finding yourself, knowing who you are, knowing your worth.
Yeah.
Trust me, a lot of people don't know their worth, especially the men.
Yeah.
Women tend to know their worth very early because once men start approaching them, they kind of see the kind of people they are attracting.
Yeah.
So it boosts their confidence easily.
Yeah.
But it's hard for men to actually know their worth. A man probably knows their worth after they start making money.
Yeah.
And you start making very good money when you're like 25 to 30 years going.
Yeah.
So most younger men probably doesn't really know their worth, but knowing your worth doesn't necessarily mean someone has to come and show you. You have to see it and know. So once you know who you are and know your worth, you don't just put up with anything.
Yeah.
So if you have to let something go,
Yeah.
the Bible says when something is bothering you, like when your left ear is bothering you, just cut it off. It doesn't mean just cut it back.
Oh.
It just means cutting people off.
Yeah.
So don't be there for people to manipulate you.
Yeah.
Once you know your worth, all these things are gonna go away.
Yeah.
So the most important thing for me to you right now is know who you are, know your worth, know where you come from, and then it will make you appreciate yourself more.
Yeah.
And once you appreciate yourself more and love yourself,
Yeah.
you know the kind of people you mingle with.
Yeah.
Not people who don't appreciate you.
Yeah. We appreciate that very much, Dave. So for my viewers, if you are going through some sort of heartbreaks or difficult time in your relationship, you can make it right. You don't have to harm yourself. Just find yourself. Look at your value. It is a loss for people who lose good people. So I admonish you to see the value in you and stay positive, and your relationship is going to be fruitful. I'll see you in the next episode.